This is Jonathan Ferguson, the Keeper of Firearms and Artillery at the Royal Armouries Museum in the UK, which houses a collection of thousands of iconic weapons from throughout history. And I'm your host, Dave Jewett. Today it is time to rev up those chainsaw shields as we take a look at the weapons of doom, the Dark Ages. Now this weapon. Oh boy.
Now this is already legendary. Seems to tremble with anticipation, hungry for the carnage to come. Normally these weapon descriptions are kind of either, whatever, or, oh, that's silly, they've said that and that doesn't make sense. This is just glorious metal nonsense. And I'm all for it.
If you enjoy this kind of content, make sure to like the video and subscribe so you don't miss out on next week's episode. If you want even more, you can find 18 extended episodes over on our Patreon, including an extended edition of this Doom the Dark Ages episode, plus you'll be able to watch next week's episode 1 week early. Now, prepare to launch the Slayer as it's over to Jonathan.
There he is in his somewhat medievally looking armour. He's in God mode by the look of it. I've already spotted shotgun cartridges on his belt, like they had in the medieval times. And a massive gun. Launching. They're literally shooting him at the enemy.
That's right. Dynamic entry, I think that's what you call it.
Wow. Of course, now everything has to be one-handed because of his shield getting in the way.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny that this is effectively the pump action from the old games, only it's more advanced. Oh, I like the Da Vinci style artwork. I guess I've seen that before, but not this. Forged from the embers of Earth's primitive technology. Weaponry, sorry. When is this in the timeline? So it's still somehow the future.
It's the future. Or at least an alternate universe.
Oh, I look forward to the wikis trying to make sense of this. Okay. So, design-wise, they say that this is... So they're trying to say that this is a version of his old single-barrel shotgun that's been remade, which I guess explains why it now doesn't have a pump, is a semi-auto, feeds from a sort of transverse tube on the bottom of the gun. It's surprisingly wacky. I do like it.
Oh yeah, there's a lot to love about the weapons of the Dark Ages. I audibly giggled when I picked up more than one of them.
I don't know, is it me? Have I been corrupted? Does this not feel a bit Warhammery?
It feels very Warhammery.
Yeah.
It's the way to my heart. I was immediately thinking, how do I get chainsaw shields on my Space Marines?
I'm enjoying the big chunky reciprocating bolt thing on the back and the fact that you can see the rounds moving up. Not clear how they're rotating. This is like an upside down P90 feed, I've just realised. Although actually no, it looks like they're coming up and turning around as they come up the ramp.
Well, now I've upgraded it, it also fires in burst and sets enemies on fire.
Nice. So we got a double upgrade there. Yeah, wow. So how is the super shotgun going to compete with what is already a very cool shotgun? Also the flaming Morning Star flail, by the way. Let's not let that one go unacknowledged.
Probably about 45 times I played through the Dark Ages and just muttered to myself, that's so damn sick, just while playing. Today's episode is brought to you by World of Warships. Right now they've got a special event running centered on the events of Operation Dynamo, also known as the evacuation of Dunkirk, an event made possible through the efforts of over 850 boats and ships, including private civilian vessels. These little ships of Dunkirk helped rescue over 338,000 Allied troops from the shores of France, and World of Warships Operation Dynamo event takes inspiration from this real piece of history. This strategy-based card event allows players to engage in tactical missions using ship-themed cards to overcome dense fog, sea mines, and even Luftwaffe fighter planes. Completing these missions also earns you rewards, such as special Operation Dynamo containers and the Tier 6 premium British destroyer Gallant. World of Warships is free to play on PC, and new players signing up using the link in the description below and entering code DYNAMO1940 will also get 7 days premium account time, 1 million credits, 5,000 doubloons, the Tier 7 ship Bluskavica, and more. Jump into the action and join the World of Warships community, take command of highly detailed vessels, engage in PvP and PvE battles, and learn more about the events of Dunkirk via the Operation Dynamo event. Thanks to World of Warships for sponsoring this episode, and now let's get back to the video.
I've had to go back again because I keep missing the first page of information.
On the super shotgun.
Yeah.
Do you want me to give you a dramatic reading?
Go on then.
Inspired by the Slayer's success with the modified combat shotgun, the engineers of the Night Sentinels were tasked by the makers to create a weapon of pure devastation. One that would not merely serve, but define the battlefield. Built with dual barrels to amplify its destructive potential, the Super Shotgun was constructed using the strongest materials in Argent Nerve. Capable of enduring the unimaginable forces it unleashed, its design incorporated a unique black powder derived from the fossilized remains of ancient beasts native to their world. The weapon's thunderous roar became a harbinger of doom, one so feared that demons would falter and retreat at its unmistakable sound, like a clarion of death wielded by the unyielding hand of the Slayer. There you go. That's what the page says. Just in case you didn't get it.
Thank you for that. Definite family resemblance to the one we just saw on this one. And it appears to be completely different from the old Super Shotguns. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, big time. But this one's lever action.
Completely different. It's not just lever action, it's also a flintlock. It has cocks on it. Don't laugh.
Sorry.
This is serious.
Serious business.
Yeah, I like the idea that you can make black powder from demons. So if I hadn't already seen it and you told me that, I wouldn't have known that was a lever, but it does have a lever on it. So it's a lever action double barrel, which makes no sense. Never mind. It has 2 external locks on it, or versions of locks. They're a bit weird looking, very stylized, and the things on the side are ostensibly flintlock cocks. Not hammers, but cocks. As in a pecking male chicken, which is where it comes from. And they look like they are some sort of beast, and they also look like they have claws. Instead of flints, they have claws from some demon that are doing the igniting, which is genius, with the slight caveat that I don't know how that's happening. Like, what are they scraping? How are they making the sparks? Maybe we'll see. Maybe we won't. We probably don't care either way. Interestingly, we have, as well as various decoration, we have a sword depicted on the side. And I honestly expected them to give him some sort of legendary sword thing. Maybe they have as well. I just haven't seen it. But anyway, this is kind of referring to it being like a knight's sword almost. And we can't move on before I mention it has a mail grip. Mail M-A-I-L or M-A-I-L-L-E if you prefer. Chainmail if you must, which is very appropriate to this more medievally setting that we sort of have, or fantasy medieval, very least, and it looks very cool. I would normally say something like this is too busy looking, but I don't think I'm seeing the cocks fall, but they clearly are falling against a frizzen, so on the face of it, these are auto-cocking flintlock locks. So it's black powder made of demon bones, or ashes, and it's ignition via demon claw. I love it. I absolutely love that idea. I did see some sort of cosmetic, or what I thought was cosmetic, nod to flintlocks. I thought they were just going to gloss over it like every other game has. I'm fairly confident they're telling us that this is flint and steel, but it's not flint, it's claws. Now, how it's recharging itself, I don't know, but we do have flintlock repeaters, some of them here in this collection. There's one that fires a shot every time you pull a trigger, called the Belton. So it isn't absolute. Considering how outlandish these games are, I am not going to say that this isn't possible in this universe. Like, it's not totally contrived and hand-waved.
The functionality combined with the shield works so well as well. Spinning it Arnold Schwarzenegger style from Terminator 2 to reload it because you've got a shield in your other hand. Masterstroke.
Oh, sorry. What I've just realised that I'm being dense about is that the lever will be doing the cocking of the locks. So it's break open, and admittedly they could have had the break do the cocking, but you wouldn't have to do it that way. You could have it, or it sort of does both at the same time. So are we seeing a latch?
Because it's break open, but it's not like breaking half. Like it opens ports.
No. Yes. Got it. That's the missing piece. So the lever is doing the work of opening the breeches and cocking the locks and priming as well. Now, there are magazine primers that could do that. Does this look plausible in that way? No, not really. Well, there'd have to be some concealed mechanism that is delivering the powder to the pans. That's the only bit missing from this design on the exterior. But I'm prepared to accept that there's something going on inside mechanically. This thing's big enough to conceal that. So lever opens up the breeches, cocks the cocks, primes the pans, closes the frisons. You pull the trigger, the cocks fall, the claw strikes sparks, the sparks flash the priming powder in the pans, the main charges go off, and then you lever action it again. I never thought I'd say this, but this is almost plausible. So we've got this drop pod thing with a weapon called the Shredder, which definitely looks like it shreds something, and I'm guessing it's not paper. Almost hint of skeleton there. It reminds me of the cover of the last Ghost EP. It was all very cyber industrial, but with bones. They're not bones, but it always has that kind of rib cagey hand vibe to it. And yeah, it fits that Sentinel technology that we've seen in the previous games. Now, the head there, that looks like a modern hunting broadhead type point. So this is a full auto crossbow, kind of, I gather.
It's a bit more like a nail gun.
Okay, fair enough. But the nails are... Oh, I see, yes, because that's not the head of an arrow or a bolt. That is the projectile. So it's like a hyper-specialised nail for nailing demons through the face. Cuts through flesh, armour and bone alike. Interesting. Well, the trouble that games like this, I think, must always have is how do we not... Like, this weapon's incredible. Why don't we just use this the whole time? But that's the secret, isn't it? That's the creativity. Oh, wow. So it's even more metal than I thought it would be. It's propelling the projectiles using a great big hammer by the look of it.
That's the vibe I got as well.
Just like smacking them like a jackhammer. I don't know how they do it. I really don't.
You can fill enemies with these needles, nails, spikes, and hit them with the shield, and then they all explode out like the enemy has become a grenade. It's so satisfying.
And it has some kind of mythical energy power supply as well, to gather from the write-up. This does look fantastic. The Captain America shield as well. Captain America if he was really, really mean.
Yeah, so what you see here is the weapons are in families, and there's like 2 weapons per...
Okay.
So this is the sort of rail spike family. Previously we saw the shotgun family.
Right, so the Impaler. We're moving from graceful, positively dainty, arrowhead-like projectiles to railroad spikes. That's amazing.
This is the closest thing Doom's ever had to a sniper rifle, but because of the close range nature of the Dark Ages, it still arcs quite heavily, so you have to just aim a little bit above the demon from a little bit of a range to get the headshot, and then you're rewarded that satisfying pinning a demon to the wall.
Well, we've not long ago we've had full-on sniper type weapons with scopes and normal, like the auto cannon thing, and the so we kind of gravitated toward a normal arsenal of weapons for a game, and now we've kind of radically pivoted back to no, we're going to do our own thing, and you're going to like it, and I think we are. Devastating precision. Powered by a crystallized hammer. Okay. So they're calling this sort of impact driver thing that launches these projectiles a hammer, which it is. Retired in modern times due to its immense weight and the rarity of its components. I'm not sure what components those would be. Railroad spikes? Where are they getting railroad spikes from? Are they some kind of construction implement that happens to resemble a railroad spike? I mean, you could just forge them. They're visibly rusty in the gun. I'm guessing it's something to do with the propulsion system. The spikes do look like they have magical runes on them, though.
I think based on the drawing, and now I can't speak Maker or Sentinel or Demonic or whatever this is, but what I'm reading is that rune is like a magical rune that explodes. So that's the ignition. The hammer hits that rune, which activates the magic, which explodes and propels something forward.
Of course. How did I miss that? You're absolutely right. The sound effects are fantastic. So I'm guessing the soundtrack is some sort of indie...
yeah, it's pretty low key.
Ambient. Maybe some whale music.
Yeah, there's a couple of disco tracks in there as well.
And Enya, that sort of thing.
Yeah, they collaborated with Enya on the soundtrack.
I think it's high time Enya went metal, actually.
Also, I want to shout out. So, speaking of music, the music tracks that we've used thus far throughout all the EXP episode have been made in-house by Chris.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's done all of our music. Our music is all original. Chris has done a fantastic job. What people should have been hearing thus far throughout this episode is a metal remix of our own theme music. Chris has made our very own metal version for the Doom episodes. So please show Chris some love for that in the comments, because he sent it to me and I was genuinely just listening to it because it went really hard.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's done a great job on it.
Oh, I see the drop.
Once you get it dialed in, though, you can land headshots pretty reliably.
And of course, there are no sights to speak of.
The Doomslayer doesn't aim.
It's the sort of thing that if you'd set this in a realistic setting, the tabloids would just be a buzz. I think we need a demon rights organisation, frankly.
Now this weapon. Oh boy.
Now this is already legendary. This I heard about, I think, straight after the first teaser. I was wondering how the feed mechanism on this worked. So we have some slightly manky-looking skulls in a semi-magazine thing under the action, I think we'll call it. And then these counter-rotating spiked wheels that grind the skulls up and somehow use them as projectiles. Right, let's pause, because I need to understand this.
What a thing to say, looking at this. I must understand this.
I must. It's festooned with skulls, which I'm very much a fan of. A weapon spoken about in hushed tones. Not here, it isn't.
Loud and proud about the Skullcrusher.
Born from the madness of a sentinel engineer corrupted by cultists. Well, that makes sense. No, skulls aren't always evil. We're not always the baddies. Resembling an engine of death. Yes. Which should be the name of one of the levels, if it isn't already. Crushes curse-marked demonic skulls. I was going to say they don't look entirely anatomically human. Bad, I was right about that. I wouldn't want to meet anyone who had this skull under their face. Seems to tremble with anticipation, hungry for the carnage to come. I think normally these weapon descriptions are kind of either, whatever, or, oh, that's silly. They've said that, and that doesn't make sense. This is just glorious metal nonsense, and I'm all for it.
This basically works like a automatic shotgun or a constant stream shotgun.
Yeah,
because it's just a wide spray of skull shards.
I like the pistons chuntering away that seem to drive the thing. Oh, now there's like a hyper mode where they glow extra cursed and the shards have extra penetration. Now, if I'm going to try and be a bit critical here, only in the sense that could you throw skull shards at an enemy as a weapon, as a projectile? No. I actually have 2 skulls and I refuse to elaborate on that.
What?
But they're very light. Bone is very light, is hollow to some extent, or porous, Even skull bone that is homogeneous is relatively lightweight. And so they don't have the mass. Bullets are made of lead for a reason. Arrows have a lot of mass. Skull shards don't. So we're relying on the magic to do this. So actually it could be cursed anything. It could be cursed bananas that we're shooting at the enemy. But that wouldn't be as cool. All right, we're onto a weapon called the Ravager, which appears to be the same kind of thing.
It's the same thing, but it's got like a choke on it, so the spread is much tighter.
A skull choke. Where existence is classified. Classified by and for whom? The Ravager's use is kept hidden from the public. I'm assuming we're talking here about the Sentinel civilization.
Yeah, because it's made by like heretic cultists, so pretty bad PR to be using like a hell weapon. I think the implication is.
Yeah. I'm just picturing a normal sort of 2.4 children family of these weird aliens just sitting around with reading their newspapers and finding out about this new weapon that someone's leaked. I've thought about this too much. I like all the sparks. The sparks look really cool. Bone doesn't usually spark when you crush it, by the way.
Well, this is demon bone, so maybe it does spark or maybe it is heavier.
And there you go. Maybe. So the velocity comes from the magic, but the ability to actually penetrate through things is maybe intrinsic to super hard, sharp demon skulls. That's what we're going with. This is what all of the evidence has led us to. I look forward to the double-blind peer-reviewed paper on this one. I'd love to write that, by the way, and submit it to a journal. Incidentally, as I'm seeing you getting attacked by those energy balls that are connected by a middle thing, I am reminded of Chainshot that was used in a naval context to destroy masts and rigging on ships. And it kind of does that for you because it's wide and it's hard to avoid.
It's funny you mentioned Chainshot because we'll have something akin to that coming up. Hey, just quickly popping up to say if you're enjoying this episode, we have a longer, deeper, extended edition, plus over a dozen other Director's Cut episodes over on our Patreon. Each patron goes a long way into keeping this project alive, but whether you're watching along on YouTube or come and join the Patreon, we wanted to say thank you for watching, thank you for all of your support, and now I'll get back to the video.
Right, so this is our nod to plasma rifle / BFG, I guess.
Yeah, like the plasma rifles of Eternal. Eternal had the more blocky,
yes,
harkening back to the original Doom design.
I'd forgotten about energy weapons because we've gone so kind of old school with blowing chunks of metal through people's faces. I hadn't thought about the fact that yes, we're still going to have energy weapons because we still have high technology. So the whole medieval thing is really just a vibe more than anything else.
It is a vibe.
We have absolutely no reduction in firepower. If anything, we have more. Oh, okay. Channels superheated plasma through a contact shock chamber, forming a frozen hardened shell. Oh, wow. So it's frozen shards of plasma. That's new. So it's not quite like the previous plasma weapons. I need more tea to get me through this. In a good way. Yeah, it does feel a bit more like a combination of a projectile weapon and a plasma weapon. We don't have that ephemeral energy blast thing happening anymore so much. It's more like a bit like the skull thing, but more controlled and less scully. It feels like the mission statement for the weapons design in this game was find me other things we can shoot through demons. That is something. That looks like the tech of the shotguns and not the alien. Sorry, I keep saying aliens. I know they're not aliens, but it's sort of extra dimensional.
It's like the plasma weapon you saw before, and they've bolted two of them together.
Oh, okay. Because the aesthetic said to me maybe like future Earth technology. The first-person view and the alternating fire reminds me of the nail gun from Quake. Yeah, it almost just looked a bit more Earth technology, you know, kind of deep blue, black kind of finish, and then those woven hoses, steel hoses. I'm amazed by the variety of guns in this.
Oh yeah, they've done an amazing job on the weapons of this game. You mentioned Chainshot earlier.
Oh, holy cow.
Doesn't function quite like naval Chainshot, but is very cool nonetheless.
Again, a radically different aesthetic for this as well. This almost looks chiseled from some kind of substance we don't have. Terrifying artifact pulsating with a sentient malevolence that whispers from the abyss. Yes, that checks out. Okay. So it doesn't shoot chain shot. It shoots a shot on a piece of chain. Like a kind of crazy destructive frog tongue.
Or instead of scorpions get over here, it's same function but get absolutely wrecked instead.
I like that.
What's really satisfying as well is if you miss, you can move your point of aim a little bit, and as the ball comes back, you'll hit them in the spine instead of in the face.
Oh wow, what a great idea. So it's a gun that's a melee weapon.
Yeah, this one was very satisfying.
I'm guessing this is a late game finding?
Nope.
Oh really?
No, you get all the stuff that's dialed up to 11 quite early. Okay. Which is fantastic.
That's the other thing it reminds me of, is the old ball in a cup toy. You fling it up and catch it.
Doomslayer's bored on his day off and he's like shooting it in the air and catching it again.
Yeah. Oh, that should have been the idle animation. That's such a good idea. Okay, this reminds me of one of the previous weapons. Only that didn't fire miniaturized sea mines, which this seems to.
Yeah, this is the grenade launcher.
I mean, let's not forget that 17th century grenades were in fact iron balls. Sometimes they were other materials, but cast iron balls with a hole for black powder and a fuse sticking out that you light. This feels a bit like a nod to the old grenado, or maybe the artillery shells of a bit later on. I love the way they bounce around. That's great. So from a weapon that looks by Doom standards fairly conventional, like it might just punt something out, it's actually a sort of physics-based thing. Oh, airburst. Nice. Boink. That's fantastic. Again, maybe a bit of a callback to Quake 1 with the bouncing grenades.
There's not Doom without a rocket launcher.
Yeah. So the grenade launcher and the rocket launcher, weirdly enough, are so far the most conventional looking weapons, but the grenade launcher behaves quite differently. I'm excited to see what this does. It does have a shaped bazooka style bit for the shoulder, so there's some nod to comfort. The back end though is sealed, so our rocket exhaust is going to struggle. Yes, it's a rocket launcher with recoil. There's some flaming going on in the chamber. I don't fully understand. Normally you need the back end open for the rocket exhaust to, exhaust.
So this would be more of like a mortar?
Yeah, kind of. Well, yeah, I'd say it's more like a mortar, but you're using it in the direct fire role, pretty much. These do have a sustaining motor in them, so it's like a rocket-assisted mortar.
Well, maybe it's like the propulsion from the railroad spikes. Magical rune on the base of the rocket.
Could be. So this is the ballista.
Oh no, we've not got the BFG in this game. This is the BFC.
Oh! How did I miss that?
The Ballistic Force Crossbow.
I even read that on the screen and my addled mind failed to put it together. Yeah, why not? Why not make the BFG a giant crossbow? So it fires enchanted tree trunks, essentially. Yeah, it's pretty impressive. Does that mean that the BFG is somehow subconsciously trying to replicate ancient magical technology? It's like we had to invent our own giant green energy weapon.
Well, the lifespan of, or the history of firearms or ranged weaponry went from crossbow to firearms, in a way. So maybe this is just the early history of the BFG.
Oh, that's right. We nicked this technology from them, didn't we? The BFG technology, rather. In the original games, it was just kind of implied that this is future tech. Human tech.
I was thinking while I was playing, I wonder how they're going to do the BFG. Because they can't not include it. And then this thing emerged from the ground and started deleting the screen in giant swathes of green. And I was like, ah. Beautiful. Nailed it.
I do like using the crank, the Kranikin windlass, whatever vibe of the drawing it back as part of the build-up, as it were. It does weirdly work quite well, even though we did have the ballista in previous games, which is very crossbow adjacent.
Well, I believe in the Dark Ages, the BFC is a mounted weapon, and that bringing the bow back is done by a machine or a crew. But because the Slayer is the Slayer, you can do it by hand.
Yeah. So it's not the ballista of the previous games, but it is essentially a ballista. Yeah, very good. Well, very much looking forward to playing that. It's rare that something is more exciting to watch than a lot of games are to play. There we are.
Assault mode engaged.
Thanks again to World of Warships for sponsoring this video. Remember to check out their Operation Dynamo event, and new players should sign up using our link in the description below for some very cool rewards. Thank you all for watching. We had an absolute blast playing Doom the Dark Ages, breaking down its grim gothic weaponry, and bringing you this episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure to click the like button, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below, and of course, subscribe. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all of the Slayers over on our EXP Patreon for helping support the channel and making this content happen. Links to support the Royal Armouries will also be in the description, so make sure to check those out, as well as all of EXP's social pages. But until we see each other again in the next episode, thank you again for watching, and we will see you very soon.